What's up, guys? Charles Cerrito back at Black Market Racing representing Function Factory Performance, and behind me is a slew of parts for Jacoby's EcoBoost over there. It is a 2019, and as some of you know, we just finished a lot of cold air intake testing, and I don't want to give away the results yet. You're going to have to watch that cold air video down there. But now we are focusing on step 2, which are 4 different exhausts for the Ford Mustang EcoBoost. We will not be showing the full install, just a couple random B-roll clips because we want to focus on the fit and finish and the sound of this exhaust. And more importantly, we're going to show you if it makes power. We will be using the Cobb OTS Stage 1 tune. I don't ever recommend using an OTS, but for time's sake purposes, a Stage 1 tune is generally safe for these cars. Again, guys, I don't recommend OTS tunes, especially a Stage 2, but a Stage 1 is going to be just perfectly fine for a car that has an exhaust and intake. So Chase is going to get started, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to split these videos up. We're going to talk about the intake, but right now we're focused on the exhaust, so let's get started. Behind me, Chase has got the Mustang up on the jack stands. Unfortunately, we don't have a lift. It's really busy in here, and I appreciate Black Market Racing for letting us use their shop for this video project. And we've got the MBRP laid out here. I mean, I've done way too many of these. We've sold hundreds of these systems. Huge shout out to MBRP, especially for sponsoring our GT500. And this is actually our program here, so this exhaust here is not sponsored. And again, all these products that you see here are paid for by us. Personally, I think it's one of the best sounding for the price point. Just can't beat it. It's not raspy. It's nice and smooth and has a good volume. This is the race version. So there's 2 versions. There's a street and the race. The street has a larger muffler. That's going to be a lot quieter, obviously. This is the race, so it has like 1% rasp, and it's a lot noisier. I mean, it is what it is. If you guys want more sound, here is option 1. So we got our MBRP on. Don't mind the tips. They're a little, we didn't line them up. We just wanted to get them on there. This is the race version. I've said this 900 times, so I'm not going to be redundant. This is the first startup. The car is pretty up to temp, so we'll give it some revs. A little more. Perfect. For the 900th time, I'm the most repetitive person I'm realizing on video. Got the MBRP XP Series race system in the Jacoby's 2019 Ford Mustang. So we're going to see if the system makes power. What's my prediction? Derek, what's your prediction?
10 horsepower.
Says 10 horsepower. That's a lot of horsepower, honestly. From what we've seen, I'm going to say 5. Go at 5 wheel. Let's go. All right, guys, we do have a number here. Damn, me and Derek were both wrong. That is a huge power increase, guys. 268 horsepower, less torque. Lost 2 foot-pounds of torque, gained 20 horsepower. Holy moly. This is stock tune. We have not done the OTS. So I'm going to let the car cool down. We'll install the new tune and see what it makes. We're going to make one more pull. Looks like the dyno had misread the crank sensor somewhere. Either way, we got the number. But just to play it safe, we'll make one more pull. All right, so we did one more pull here. I'm going to clear the dyno sheets. So our first pull, there we go. We got a full pull on the second one. So it looks like we lost some horsepower on the second pull. So made 264, which is still an awesome number. We're seeing some real gains here, but we're looking at higher torque here. So I'm actually going to remove run file 1 And then let's put our stock file here. So again, net gain of 20 horsepower. And with the torque, we actually gained torque here for a total of 10. So I've never actually seen a claim on horsepower on these exhausts. We just made 2 back-to-back runs with the log, and we're seeing 20/10. So 20 horsepower, 10 wheel torque. That's freaking awesome. And as Derek just showed it, I mean, it just sounds great. And guys, unfortunately, we're not gonna have time to test these exhausts on the road individually. It's just too time consuming. That's why I'm providing you as many revs and stuff on the dyno here. And we're about to get this exhaust off. But first, we're gonna run one run with an OTS Stage 1 tune. So stand by. A lot more aggressive on the trans. All right, guys, we're heat soaking. We have heat soaked the car. We're just losing power now.
This exhaust is smoking a lot.
Smoking like what?
Hey, I assume it's just the exhaust.
What color?
White.
White? Like right now? There's a lot of oil in the exhaust I saw. Yeah, so we're heat soaking. It's just like the intakes. I mean, I waited a good 5 minutes, and we're just losing power all across the board. It seems normal that we're losing 10 on horsepower and 20 on torque. So we're just gonna stick with this number right now. So the OTS tune ended up making 267, 343, and again, we'll get into those numbers a lot later as we gotta get swapping on this stuff. So between the tuned and untuned, it's very marginal gain. Saw some hiccups. The transmission's extremely aggressive with the Stage 1. I don't know how it drives on the street, could be fun. Do I recommend it? Yeah, sure, why not? It seems fine. We'll look at the logs. Other than that, I mean, pretty impressed by the exhaust, like really impressed. 20 horsepower, 10 foot-pounds of torque, $719. I mean, we sell a lot of these MBRPs. American Muscle sells a lot of them, Summit, Jags, everybody in the world sells a lot of these things. There must be a reason why. So, next exhaust going on right now, getting the full race Cat-Back exhaust, type race. So there are 2 versions again, race and street. The race having a single muffler, the street having 3 mufflers, extremely heavy exhaust. The race one I had on my car is actually prototyped on my car first. It sounds nasty. It is by far the best sounding exhaust for this car. I know I said I market the Tomei a lot. Again, trying not to be biased here. The Tomei doesn't weigh anything. It weighs 13.2 pounds. Both of these exhaust systems are extremely heavy, but with the full race, you get V-banded clamps, extremely high end, way over the top for this car. It sounds incredible. It's just heavy in my opinion, and you know, we road race our car, so I wanted to go with that lighter option. But again, I want you guys to hear what the full race sounds like on the Ford Mustang EcoBoost, and again, I think it's one of the most incredible. Unfortunately, we couldn't test the Circuit Sport exhaust, which is one of the most popular ones. They just have no ETA or no materials. So big shout out to Tony. Love that guy. The exhaust is awesome. Maybe we'll test it in the near future. If there are other exhausts you guys want us to test, let us know down below. Behind me, we've got the full race behind us. This is a full 3-inch center muffler. This, dear manufacturers, look at me. Look at me. This is where you put the muffler on an EcoBoost. So on my Tomei, we are actually going to be trying to find a titanium center muffler that we can put in the center of the car, because this is where the car likes to make the harmonics. When you put the mufflers back here, it tends to sound like a cheap Honda. That is, I mean, I don't know how many exhaust systems we've been through and how many we've heard and seen, but this one right here, I mean, the full race kind of takes the cake when it comes to exhaust. But we're going to see what it sounds like on a catted car, and I've heard it before. We're going to do it again. It sounds incredible. We're going to see how it fits. We'll just take some quick video of that. Other than that, look how simple this is, guys. You've got the wide pipe here. You've already got the connection pipes connected to the rear section, so there's no confusion. If you need to know, your welded side stays up, so just put that up. It does come with an adapter for the stock downpipe. So if you're trying to do a true 3-inch downpipe, as some of you guys know, we include, you have an ability to purchase the a la carte kit for the Tomei for a full 3-inch downpipe to full 3-inch exhaust. That will allow you to do so. Again, it's going to need some custom modification there. Other than that, full race looks sick. I mean, the price point is much higher, obviously. As you can see, the system's overkill. It's coated. I mean, let's see what it sounds like, and hopefully it makes some power on the dyno. My guess, Derek, what's your guess? We saw 20 on MBRP.
This one, ooh, I'm gonna go with 20.
Okay, so big difference between MBRP. We've got the mufflers in the back, no resonator in the Y pipe. So we have a muffler in the Y pipe. I wonder if that's gonna disturb flow. Maybe I'll go on the conservative side. I'll go 15. Let's try 15 wheel. So behind me, guys, we've got the full race, type race exhaust installed on the Ford Mustang EcoBoost. So right off the bat, what I noticed, the tips are a lot nicer. These are some really high quality chrome tips. Fitment is great, went on in 2 seconds. There's only 3 pieces to this exhaust, so there are no connection pipes in the middle, so there's no extra clamps or any of that fun stuff. This exhaust is obviously a very high price point, and we're gonna see if it's worth the high price point, if it makes some power, and obviously we're gonna give you guys a bunch of revs and some dyno runs. The car is a little cold, so we'll give it a cold start. And go high. All right, guys, it's a little noisy here. Got the fan going, want to cool this car down. I'm just gonna go ahead and uninstall the tune. So we are flashing back to normal. And then we're gonna put the stage 1 back on. But let's see how much power she makes. All right, same thing, guys. We hit heat soak again. Lost some big power. Trying to really bring the temps down on this car. It's like 192 on the coolant temperature is best we're gonna do. We're gonna put the OTS tune on and let this car sit about another 5 minutes and make another pull. But right now it's just, she's hot. So the full race made 258, 327. That is stock, no OTS. So we're gonna put the tune on now. The exhaust is making as much horsepower as it can. I'm not sure if this OTS tune just doesn't like that exhaust, but we actually lost power from the stock one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rev the car here, bring the temps down, and I'm gonna shut it off. There we go, temps are coming down. I'm gonna let those charge temps kind of drop and see where we're at, because it's really hot right now. All right, guys, so we got the final numbers here. The MBRP edged the full race out just by a tad, so I was damn on the money. So it looks like we picked up literally, let's see, I can't math pretty fast, but that is about 14 wheel horsepower on the full race. And I think that's due to the muffler design, but I think it does sound better. But the MBRP did edge the full race out just by a little, and it made 3 more torque than the full race. So our final contestant is our Tomei, and it looks like we have some time, so we're gonna hustle and get this thing done. Chase is assembling Tomei, and the Tomei is insanely nice. Just quality, super crazy quality. Titanium everywhere, robotic TIG welds, hand welds, super cool burnt muffler, real Japanese like. It's gonna be our final exhaust test. So many exhausts are on back order, unfortunately. And we gotta get going on this car because we have the intercoolers to do soon. And then we have a full turbo kit installed to do. Yeah. Our final exhaust is on. The Tomei Expreme Cat-Back exhaust for the 2015 to 21 Mustang. And it is a single X set. So it is not twin, it is single. They do make a block-off plate if you are in need of one. They do not make one for the 2018 and up bumper, just the 15 and 17. So if you don't like that look, I mean, obviously there are plenty other alternatives, but some people like the 4-cylinder with the single X set. I do have it on my car. Personally, I love how this exhaust sounds with a catalytic converter on it. My car does not have a cat, as we do track it. It kind of does get raspy in some areas, but I love how it sounds in our high RPM. But normal driving can get a little obnoxious, but with the cat, it does quiet it down and actually gives it a great tone. So before I eat my words, let's start this 13.2 pound titanium exhaust up. Car's already warm, so we'll give it a few revs. All right, guys, we are on our final exhaust. Just picked up Kyle's bends. Again, shop is operating. Gotta get stuff done here. I am about to uninstall the OTS tune, so we have the stock tune on the Cobb. And my predictions for this, so both exhausts made about 17 to 20 wheel. Derek, what's your prediction?
Tomei, no restrictions, single exit. I'm gonna go with 20. I think 20 is kind of sweet spot.
So according to my Cobb, never believe the Cobb, by the way, this thing makes 23 horsepower. So I'm gonna go on the dot, final answer, 23 wheel. All right, I've got to pull the data logs from the full race, and we'll data log the Tomei and all that fun stuff. Take a look at that. Again, this is really overkill, guys. Wow, the Tomei kicking some serious butt with 272 horsepower, but made the least amount of torque at 320. But again, I'm not going to try and get into numbers here, but wow, horsepower is a lot more. So my prediction of 23 horsepower, let's see, was that correct? Let's do some math here. 272 minus 248. I was off one. 24 wheel horsepower gain. Look at that. If we want to be exact, we made 272.57 minus 248.64, 23.93 FPS. So on the damn money. So Tomei's pretty kick-ass. Loses a lot of torque though, but with these cars we need that horsepower for that tiny turbo. And this thing sounds awesome. We're gonna put the OTS map on right now and wrap up because it's getting late, guys. All right, we're gonna let the car cool down. It is freaking hot. I tried to do a second pull on the OTS and off the OTS. It's not happy right now. But obviously the Tomei made the most power. I think the OTS tune, OTS by the way means off the shelf, is gonna make a damn good number on this exhaust. But we're just trying to get this car cooled down. It needs some meth. It needs some milk. It seriously needs some nitrous or meth, something to get that intercooler cold. It's blazing D's hot. So we're probably gonna wait another 2-3 minutes here. We're shoving that fan as deep as we can in that intercooler. And this is gonna be our last pull of the day. We're running about 24 hours behind. So next up is intercoolers. I think that should be easy. We're gonna yank this bumper off and shit all the intercoolers in there and data log it. Check the charge temps, do back-to-back pulls. Not looking at horsepower. If we gain some horsepower from it, that's freaking awesome, but we're looking at consistency. I just spit all over the camera. We're looking for charge temp consistency. If I sound like an idiot, I probably am. Who knows? I'm really tired at this point. But what I know is that I'm looking for charge temps to stay down from pull to pull. Where this intercooler, I mean, we pulled plenty of data from this thing. It heat soaks immediately. And we're gonna see that tomorrow where we'll do a back-to-back pull and we'll show you guys with the stock exhaust and stock airbox that the stock intercooler just cannot do a pull and then repeat that same exact wide open throttle pull back to back. The coolant gets extremely hot on the second pull and the charge temps just skyrocket because of the inefficiency of the stock intercooler. So we're gonna give this about 2 or 3 more minutes here and we'll do the last pull. We'll show you guys the number and we'll wrap up here. And this will complete our second video on our project. So our third video will be intercoolers specifically. So, stock car, stock airbox, stock exhaust, what did we make? Back to 248 wheel horsepower and 329 foot-pounds of torque. That is a stock car. First dyno graph we're looking at, we've got the Ford Mustang MBRP Race XP Series stainless steel 409 blah, blah, blah. Made 264 wheel horsepower and 339 foot-pounds of torque. When we tuned it with our OTS Stage 1, we picked up a little horsepower at 267 and gained some torque at 343. Next up was our full race exhaust, nice and sexy. It made 258 wheel horsepower and 327 foot-pounds of torque. Switching to the OTS map, we gained a little horsepower at 264 and made 340 foot-pounds of torque. And then our winner, our little monster here, our Tomei stock made 272 wheel horsepower and made 320 foot-pounds of torque. And then switching to the OTS map, that is the wrong OTS map. We did have an issue with the OTS on the Tomei. We could not get it to make power. So I will switch this result here. Obviously, we're trying to get out of here fast. I'll show you the true numbers. Last I saw was 264 for the Tomei on the OTS, and it lost some torque. We did repeat this test over 6 times, and we could not make a bigger number. We shoved as much air and tried to cool the car down, and unfortunately, we've just ran out of time. We've been at this since early 6 a.m. So these are our results. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, guys. The MBRP, nice smooth note, not too loud. It is the race version, but it's not too loud. Full race ups that volume about 20% more. Sounds amazing. I love the finish on the tips. It looks really good. And if you're an American fan, that is the best looking tip option, I think. The Tomei is obviously for Japanese JDM fans. It does have that burnt tip, burnt muffler. It is a single exit, and the material is titanium thin wall, so it is not stainless steel like the full race MBRP. The Tomei is our winner when it comes to power, and personally, it's my favorite sounding exhaust. And again, I'm not biased on it. It's It's super race car. It weighs 13.2 pounds. It uses race type springs to hold the exhaust together. It just is very well crafted. But not to bash on any of the other brands, the MBRP and the full race had perfect fitment as well. But a lot of people cannot stand that single look. So don't let my opinion sway yours on that. But the sound, it's undeniably freaking sweet. But for a daily driver, guys, I really recommend the MBRP. It's just quiet and it has a really good tone. And if you want a little louder daily driver, that full race is there and it has that twin pipe system. But if you're looking to go drag racing, track racing, autocross, and you need to save some weight, the Tomei is 100% the best answer. We did not get to test a lot of exhausts because guess what, guys? They are on backorder and we can't get our hands on them. But if there is a certain exhaust that is popular and you want us to test it, feel free to leave a comment down below. We did log all of this in the Cobb. So if Ryan and Jesse want to chime in after they see these logs, we will put it in this video, insert it somewhere so that they can give their expert tuning opinion. Again, my name is Charles Cerrito. Behind the camera is Derek, and I got Chase teching on the car. Really appreciate their help and time, and a shout out to Black Market Racing for letting us use their shop and their dyno jet. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, give us a call, visit our website, www.ffperformance.co. Our Instagram is ffperformanceaz. I really suck at ending videos. Our next project are intercoolers. I've said this 3 times now. So we are going to be back at it again here early morning. Open the doors at 9 a.m., get that bumper off, and start testing some intercoolers.